Alrighty, so right now we are working on finishing out all the raw edges. Just like a home, we're going to use quarter round and make it look like a finished project. It's so painted fabulously, we want to continue all the edges to match. I went ahead and painted, I know the mattress is going to be on that, but for giggles and grins, I already had my paintbrush loaded, so I went ahead and painted underneath, so it's just complete looking. All of these edges as well, we've got to hide all those holes where that lady had cut before. So here we go on the edging. We also have a really phenomenal idea
and a way to cover up this really ugly little shelf on the back.
Alright, so I splurged just a little bit. It actually wasn't much more. It's about $4 more per stick than it was to do the really just basic stuff. This hand-pressed, hand-carved just looks super gypsy to me. It was a living hell to paint. I had to take a teeny tiny bristle brush and literally shake it around in there and then take another brush and swipe over it to get all the excess paint out of each little groove. It was a royal pain in the ass, but gonna be way worth it. I'm gonna dry brush, actually I'm going to tape over these two edges to keep those really clean. We're gonna dry brush the copper over the top, go back and paint this little piece with the coral pink that I'm using, and I'm going to do the green accent on all of these by hand painting each and every one of them. So like I said, going to be worth it. Details, details. One other thing, when we put it on, we're actually going to nail through the hole, so once it's done I can go back and put a tack cover so you don't see the nail holes as well. So I'm painting detail right now. On the board, I've had to do 3 different coats of the underneath. I've gone back with a different color green. The green that I've used in there is like a sagey green. So when I put the sagey green on here, it didn't have the color, it looked whiter. So I've ended up using a darker green, of course clearanced, that actually is popping out a little bit more. And when you dry brush something, when you actually put the paint on it and brush it, it comes out a lot lighter than it actually is here. See how much lighter it is when you're dry brushing. So to get this pattern the way I want it to look, I'm concentrating on the center. If you just kind of brush over all of it, you've got to go back and do all your tiny little detail work, which is too much. You have to do a little bit, but not much this way. So I'm just starting in my middle, and then I'm brushing and fanning it out as I go with the shape of the pattern. On the ends, I'm also highlighting the main areas, and then I'm barely brushing over the middle area. So all the highlighted areas, now I'm actually dry brushing to not cover up all my green, just kind of, and go with the pattern. There's really no way to do this without getting it on all this little detail. I'm gonna go back and actually touch it up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because I don't want it to look that way. So once you finish it, a little bit more right here on the edges, and then just kind of fan it out, dry brush a little bit, fan it out, and then go to your next one. That's what my final product is actually looking like. So it's got highlights and lowlights all the way through. Okay, so I keep going on and on about how hard the trim is being, but little areas like this, he literally took 3 pieces and matched the pattern up precisely. I could not have done that with the measurements. He also used grinding tool and that big tool, whatever it is, I don't know, and the little tool that I love. It took so much to get this done. I couldn't have done it. Once I get it filled and painted, you won't even be able to tell. So in this particular situation, we've hammered these little nails coming through the bottom, and every time I reach under here, my husband said I was going to snag stuff and pull things, so we're cutting all the edges off of the inside of them. Be sure and watch for details like that. Alright, I don't know about you guys, but I am no good at math. My husband is making all these incredible, wonderful angles cutting the trim. There's no way I could bloody do this on my own. Without him, I would have no perfect trim. So if you're not able to have a miter saw that can make crazy, insane sideways cuts such as this, I don't recommend doing this kind of trim. And if you don't have one of these guys, this is for you and you don't know how to do it, good luck. So this is what the incredible trim is looking like. I personally could not have done this.
He's having to make crazy, insane angles to get to where he's going. I mean, the measurements are insane.
To me, if you don't have this piece of equipment and this wonderful man right here, and that miter saw, and know how to use that trimmer and angle it this way, and angle it that way, and tilt it that way, then I totally suggest some hot glue and material. All right, girls, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of the update on what we're doing on the electrical part. I am not the one to answer your questions. My husband has come up with this plan. It did have one light in it. If you can see down here where the little hole is in the center, we have taken out the original. We put beadboard up there, and he's drilled holes evenly to where it's in, of course, from this side to there to where it's centered. And then also the other side, the hole's the same, so they're going to hang 9.5 inches in, and then the other one is centered, of course, in the center of the window. So we've just come up with, sorry about the wiggly, these fabulous little lampshades, but when we were hanging them, they don't want to hang straight. So I literally have rigged a washer, which was my husband's idea, with hot glue. I know that looks generic. I loved the pull down chain. He did as well. So when we actually drop the lampshade on there, the little chain's going to show. And we've left it to where a little bit of the bulbs pop out, because we've done these real vintage looking fabulous bulbs. They're, if you can see, it's going to barely hang out, and you can see the little drop down chain as well. So that's where we've gotten on the lighting so far. I'll give you as much detail as I can. I know nothing about electricity. So there you go.